is responsible for ensuring that participants have a positive experience when participating in biobank studies. With the exceptional communication skills and technical expertise, Mr. Rafiq is a valuable member of the Qatar Biobank team and plays a key role in the organization's success. So before I hand it over to Mr. Mahfoud, who is going to be our first speaker of today, I would like to mention to you that tomorrow we will be having the Qatar Biobank module 4. So just make a note of that. And now I hand it over to our guest speaker, Mr. Mahfoud. So the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Latifa. Thank you for those nice words. So let's get down to business.
So you can share your screen, please.
Yes. Good morning or good evening, ladies and gentlemen, depends where you are. Welcome to the Communication and Participant Recruitment presentation, entitled A Journey to 40,000 Participants. Let me start by introducing myself. My name is Mahfoud Boumaraf. I'm a participant outreach specialist in Qatar Biobank since 2018, and I will be covering today the communication part of this presentation. My colleague, Mr. Rafiq Al-Fuqaha, who is sitting next to me, say hi, Rafiq.
Hello everyone.
Is our senior participant services representative, and he will be covering the recruitment part. In today's presentation, we will be covering how everything started with Qatar Biobank, our mission, our vision, and where our building is located. We will also discuss the importance of Qatar Biobank for the research community in Qatar, our outreach and recruitment techniques, the impact of our communication campaign on our department outcomes. We will also talk about the challenges we faced during the last 10 years, as in 2022, we celebrated our 10 years anniversary. And finally, we will be showing you how we monitor our participant satisfaction. The objectives of today's presentation is to give you a clear understanding on the importance of Qatar Biobank for the medical research field in Qatar. We will take you through our participants' interaction and recruitment strategies. We will give you an understanding on Qatar Biobank participant recruitment milestones. And finally, we will discuss the evolution of our tools and systems used to recruit participants. But before we start, I would like to declare on behalf of my colleague, Mr. Rafiq Al-Fuqaha, here present, and myself, that we both have no conflict of interest or commercial bias in relation to this presentation. Now, let's go back on how it all started and how Qatar Biobank was created. So back in 2008, the state of Qatar issued a revolutionary document called Qatar Vision 2030. This document gave a clear understanding on the path that the state of Qatar should follow. This vision, meaning the Qatar Vision 2030, was based on 4 pillars: the human development pillar, the social development pillar, the economic development pillar, and environmental development pillar. The pillar that interests us the most today is the first pillar, which is the human development pillar. So along with ethical values, local traditions, cultural heritage, and of course education, an effective health system is considered one of the most important aspects of the first pillar of Qatar Vision 2030. When it comes to human development, and under healthcare, the word medical research and preventive medicine is mentioned more than once. So we can read, for example, that the Qatar Vision 2030 aspire to have high quality research directed at improving the effectiveness and quality of healthcare. So back in 2008, the state of Qatar identified that human development in general and medical research in particular is a pillar for the future and prosperity of the nation. Almost at the same time, the Time magazine, an American magazine, very famous American magazine, listed Biobank among the 10 best ideas changing the world. So a base was set to develop the medical research field in Qatar, and the creation of a biobank to facilitate research So at that point, having a biobank in Qatar became a necessity. But in order to create a biobank and to be able to start and have a solid base to build up on, a gap analysis study on the research community needs was conducted across relevant stakeholders to confirm the importance of having a local biobank in Qatar that will contribute to the research community and support the development of the healthcare sector in Qatar. After that, a focus group from different community members, medical research professionals, and key stakeholders were created for data gathering and to make sure that the new biobank that will be created will bring solutions to the research community needs and requirements in Qatar. So it can support the development and enhancement of precision medicine and the health sector in general in Qatar. So back in 2012, Qatar Biobank was born. Before we start talking about Qatar Biobank in details, I would like to mention, and we are proud to announce, that Qatar Biobank is the biggest biobank in the region. This statement makes us very proud, and this is the fruit of a lot of sweat of our staff. So now, let's talk about our vision and mission. Our vision is to establish a research enterprise platform across Qatar to achieve an extraordinary improvements in diagnostic and prognostic intelligence required to deliver personalized healthcare for the benefit of the people in Qatar, the region, and the world. And our mission is to act as the Qatar National Center for Biological Samples and Health Information to enable researchers toward the discoveries and development of new healthcare interventions. Who we are. Qatar Biobank is a center within Qatar Foundation. Qatar Biobank was created in collaboration with Hamad Medical Corporation and the Ministry of Public Health to enable local scientists to conduct medical research on relevant health issues in Qatar. Later on my presentation, I will come back to Qatar Foundation, the importance of being part of Qatar Foundation in our communication plan, the importance of working in collaboration with Hamad Medical Corporation and the Ministry of Public Health. I will explain in details the importance of our collaborations. During the pilot phase, which concluded in 2016, Qatar Biobank received the expert support of scientists from the Imperial College of London. Our building is located in the heart of the Qatari capital, Doha. Our location gives an easy access to our participants to visit Qatar Biobank. And as a result, it impacts positively on the number of recruited participants and their satisfaction. Now, we will discuss Qatar Biobank added value locally, regionally, and globally. Let me take you through our current studies. Qatar Biobank has 3 core studies at present. Cohort study, COVID-19 biorepository with disease arm and vaccine arm, and the Qatar birth cohort study. Who do we target in each study? Eligibility criteria varies from one study to another. This criteria may be influenced by the study requirement and the recruitment targets. As mentioned before, we have 3 core studies with different study criteria and targeted participants. But in order to avoid going into a lot of details and in order to avoid confusion, we will focus today in our presentation on our main and biggest study in Qatar Biobank, which is the Qatar Biobank cohort study. We will take this study as an example to show you how we target and select our participants. So, for the Qatar Biobank cohort study, The eligible participants are anyone who is 18 years and above, who is a Qatari national, or a long-term resident. A long-term resident is identified as any non-Qatari who has been living in Qatar for more than 15 years, at least 15 years. Both these categories can contribute to Qatar Biobank by offering around 3 hours of their time to have a series of measurements, medical measurements, and give lifestyle data through questionnaires and of course their biosamples. It may seem like an easy task to recruit local Qataris, but Qatar is one of few countries in the world where the local population is a minority. Now that we identified our targeted participants, I want you to take you through the pool that these participants should be recruited from. And in order to do this, we need to understand the composition of the Qatari population. Here is a pie with all the nationalities, the majority of nationalities that lives in Qatar. This pie will help you understand the composition of the Qatari population. As you can see, Qatar is composed for almost 3 million persons living in Qatar, with a local population of 76% of male and only 24% of female. So most of what you see in blue, pink, yellow, and others are Southeast Asians, Africans, and other nationalities are blue-collar workers. Most of them are male, and most of them works in construction projects. The nature of their work is that they would work on a project for a couple of months or couple of years, and then once the project is over, they will relocate to other projects in the region or in the world. So the number of participants that are eligible for our studies from this category of the population is very minimal. On the other hand, 80% of our participants are and should be Qataris. And to make our department challenge tangible for you, I would ask you to keep a close look on the colorful pie in this slide. So here is the portion of the pie that 80% of our participants should be recruited from. So 80% of our participants should be recruited from 12% only of the total population of Qatar. And knowing that we have already recruited 40,000 participants between Qataris and long-term residents, and 80% of these 40,000 are Qataris, so we have recruited 30,000 Qatari participants. So we are proud to announce that we have recruited and we have the biosamples and lifestyle data of 10% of the total Qatari population. Now that we explained our studies in Qatar Biobank and identified our targeted participants, let's discuss the tools and techniques to reach out to them and in the absolute recruit them. So before the beginning of each year, we finalize a yearly communication plan that guides us throughout the year in reaching out and recruiting our participants. In Qatar, usually no one year looks like another. So our communication and recruitment plan needs to be quite specific to the event and activities happening in the upcoming year. Also, our targeted participants each year is 6,000 participants, and we set our marketing, communication, and recruitment plans accordingly. So in general, our marketing and communication objectives are around increasing the awareness about Qatar Biobank. So the brand, we increase the awareness about the brand of Qatar Biobank. So we spread the right image of Qatar Biobank, and we educate our participants on what Qatar Biobank is about. So we work towards increasing the registration for Qatar Biobank so we can recruit those participants. We increase the awareness of our products and what Qatar Biobank has to offer for the research community and students. And finally, we increase our online follow-up base. Talking about online followers base, Qatar Biobank is active in 4 main social media platforms. So we are active in Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. We use our social media platform for call to action, to invite eligible participants to take part in Qatar Biobank, and also as an awareness for researchers and students on what Qatar Biobank has to offer to them, and invite them also to visit our research portal and register with us. We do also a lot of brand awareness to educate our potential participants on how they can benefit individually from participating with us, and how the future generation of Qatar will benefit from their participation. So going back to our communication strategy, our key messages are directed to general public in first place in order to recruit them, and then researchers and local and international stakeholders. Our communication and recruitment strategy may vary from one target group to another. For example, in order to reach out and recruit participants, we focus more on the use of web or radio paid ads, press releases that will be published in the local newspapers and magazines, in-house visit of VIPs or international delegations. So usually we leverage these visits with our social media platform in order to recruit participants. We also organize medical booths at stakeholders and national events where light medical checkup are performed by one of our clinic staff. Like for example, we would put machines to measure, we'll have a booth with machines to measure height, weight, blood pressure, body mass index, grip strength. So those tests will be performed on walk-in participants for data capture, meaning we take the name, ID number, and mobile number of the participant, and we register their name in our database so we can call them on a later stage and invite them to participate with us. I would also say that the specificity of Qatar is that social media influencers have a real power in opinion creation. So we usually work with social media influencers as ambassadors for Qatar Biobank to help us spread awareness directly or indirectly. Meaning, we work with social media influencers indirectly, meaning they would come and participate with us in Qatar Biobank and film their participation. And in the end, they will put our contact details for participant to contact us. Or directly, meaning the influencer will sit in front of his camera and he will be talking about the benefit of participating in Qatar Biobank. Now we'll talk about how we attract and how we reach out to researchers. Communicating, attracting researchers and students is different from the mass communication techniques used for general public. We attract researchers and students throughout the interactive booth that we usually organize in medical conferences and symposiums. We also advertise and publish in science and medical magazines, locally and internationally, because it helps to create awareness. Another method would be the paid ads targeted directly to researchers and students. Like, for example, a social media campaign on LinkedIn. For example, LinkedIn is a very good tool for this, that will target researchers and medical or biology, let's say, for example, students in a specific area where there is a concentration of universities and research centers. Also, one of the specificities of Qatar, of the state of Qatar, is that it is a small country. So we are able to reach out to the targeted researchers and students in their centers or universities and organize info sessions that will give visibility for them on what we do and how we can help them and what we have to offer. Just to give you an idea about how our event looks like, so here is a small collage on some of our activation. So you can see, for example, that we leverage the visit of our leaders to Qatar Biobank. Along also we do a lot of indoor and outdoor medical booths. You can also see press releases and visits of local and international guests from the Biobank community. Just to give you a brief idea on how impactful can a VVIP visit on our work, this is just an example. I want you please to take a close look to the matrix, the table below. As you can see, in February 2015, we were honored to welcome Her Highness Sheikh Hamouza bint Nasser to our building. You can see the visitor statistics for almost 3 years, 2015, 16, and 17. With an average traffic of 1,200 visits per month. And you can also see that in February 2015, we made 36,509 visits on our website. This example shows you how impactful can one event be for the outcome of our department. So you can extrapolate from this example to give you a brief idea on how we operate and how events and symposium, conferences, medical booth, interactive booth can help us to attract participants. So enough talking about recruitment and communication techniques. Let's talk a little bit about the challenges faced during the last 10 years in terms of mass communication and participant recruitment. So one of the biggest issues we had in the last 10 years, especially in the very beginning, was community awareness. I'll talk in details about each issue. Word of mouth and imbalanced gender recruitment. Community awareness. When we launched Qatar Biobank back in 2012, in order to create awareness, we were in the obligation to educate our targeted participants on what is Qatar Biobank, what is a biobank in general. How will the current and future generation benefit from this project, from this amazing project, and how each one of our participants will benefit individually from it. So we had to axe our plans on education, communication, and participant recruitment. Another challenge that we faced in the very beginning was word of mouth. And word of mouth
Sorry, the recording has stopped. Yeah, Mr. Mahfoud, the pre-recording has stopped. Hello, Mr. Mahfoud. We can't hear anything right now. Do you have any issues from your end in the pre-recording?
Hello? No, everything is working fine.
Oh, okay. No, we didn't hear like for a few, maybe 1 minute or so. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll go back.
No sound.
Yeah, we don't hear you.
What happened? Thanks, Omar.
Yeah, you might need to share sound before you share your slides or something like that.
Okay. So everything looks fine from my end. Can you hear now, please?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, please go ahead because the time is not in our side. Thank you.
It seems like you didn't share the sound or share computer audio. So we can see the screen, but we cannot hear.
Okay. Wait, hold on. Community awareness. When we launched Qatar Biobank back in 2012, in order to create awareness, we were in the obligation to educate our targeted participants on what is Qatar Biobank, what is a biobank in general, how will the current and future generation benefit from this project, from this amazing project, and how each one of our participants will benefit individually from it. So we had to axe our plans on education, communication, and participant recruitment. Another challenge that we faced in the very beginning was word of mouth. And word of mouth can be a tricky one. When we first started, there was a rumor in the air that Qatar Biobank is selling the biosamples of the participants overseas and to whoever wants to buy them. For some reason, the majority of our participants had this perception about us. We understood at that time how dangerous could be the situation. So we raised the red flag internally, and we prepared a communication plan that lasted for almost a year, where we educated our participants about what we do and informed them that we are part of Qatar Foundation. And we work closely and in collaboration with Hamad Medical Corporation and the Ministry of Public Health. And here is the importance of belonging to Qatar Foundation and working with HMC and MOPH. I spoke about this slide in the very beginning. I spoke about this in the very beginning of my presentation. So Qatar Foundation, HMC, and MOPH are trusted among the Qatari population, and they have a very positive image. So belonging to them and working in collaboration with them helped us to let people understand what Qatar Biobank is about. A medical research that is working towards giving their kids a healthier future. So right now, word of mouth is our biggest asset in our department. When we do our yearly count and when we do the participant survey, a huge portion of our participants, they come and participate in Biobank because they heard about it from a friend, a colleague, a brother, a sister who participated with us, who loved his journey in Qatar Biobank, and who encouraged them to take part of Qatar Biobank. So we could turn a very tricky and difficult situation into a strength for our department. Another issues that we faced in the very beginning was unbalanced gender recruitment. We usually say that ladies live longer than men. There is a reason for that. It takes twice the effort to recruit a man than to recruit a woman. So ladies, they take care of their health. I want you to look at the following pies. You can clearly see the differences in gender recruitment in the first years. the ratio between men and women was more or less 60-40 in favor of ladies. So we identified this issue, and we worked on a long-term plan in our department, along with our management, with Qatar Biobank management, to recruit eligible male, wherever they are. So we decided to make collaboration with Ministry of Interior and Ministry of Defense, where 99% of their staff are male and above 18 years old. And most of them are locals, Qataris. So we made info sessions and we encouraged them to participate with us. And as a result, you can see that in the last 3 years, for example, 2020, 2021, 2022, we have a ratio of more or less 50, we have like a 50-50 situation. So we managed to solve this issue, and we are working in keeping this balance. Now, I will hand the floor to my colleague Rafiq Al-Fuqaha, who will take you to the Qatar Biobank recruitment journey and how we successfully recruited 40,000 participants. The floor is yours, Rafiq.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mahfoud. Hello, everyone. My name is Rafiq Al-Fuqaha. I'm the Senior Participant Service Representative in Qatar Biobank. I joined Qatar Biobank in 2014. And to help you all understand where Qatar Biobank is going in terms of participant recruitment, it will be a good idea to go back to 2012 when it all started. Qatar Biobank was initiated in 2012 with the aim of recruiting 60,000 participants from Qatari nationals and long-term residents who lived in Qatar for a minimum of 15 years. We were located in a tiny building, which gave us limited resources in terms of participants recruitment. We started our pilot phase by recruiting 4 participants per day only. And at the time, we were in our maximum capacity due to the size of the building and our human resources availability. In 2015, we relocated to our new building, which gave us wings to fly in terms of participants recruitment. We have tripled our daily target numbers from 4 to 12 participants per day. And they were divided into 2 shifts, so we would be able to accommodate. In that same year, we increased the number again to 16 participants per day. A year and a half later, in 2017, again, we increased the number of our recruited participants from 16 to 36 participants per day. And they were divided into 3 shifts, so we would be able to accommodate. This slide shows how Qatar Biobank has grown organically over the years. As a result of the previously mentioned recruitment numbers, you can see in this slide the significant impact of the participant recruited numbers over the years. So we can see that when we started, it took us 4 years to recruit 5,000 participants only. And starting from 2017 onwards, our annual target were a minimum of 6,000 participants per year. Also, just to mention that new studies started to be aligned with our major study over time, like the Qatari birth cohort, the QBIC, which was initiated in 2018, and in mid-2020, we started the COVID-19 study. Recruitment systems and tools, which will be my major topic for today. I'll be taking you from the beginning when we began to how we are operating today. But before I start, I need to mention that we are a team of 6 that manages the expectations of the participant from the first call or communication till the end of the participant experience and results collection. When we started back then, the only way for the participant to register with us and to show their interest in participating with Qatar Biobank was through a landline call or filling a pre-registration form by coming to our building or by sending us an email. Now I will be talking about our side and how we used to manage participants' appointments. We used to use an Excel sheet to capture the details of the participants and to book their appointments, which was efficient at the beginning, but it was time and resources consuming. So in 2013, we procured a basic system which transferred us to another level if compared to the Excel sheet. But this tool was very limited in terms of various visits. So what I mean is, it allowed us to book appointments for one type of visits only, Like we were able to book visits, appointments, but this tool was not capable to book appointments for results collection after the visit. So in 2015, we have procured another tool to be able to book results collection appointments for the participants, of course, which was embedded in our website. So every single booked appointment needed a confirmation SMS to confirm the appointments with the participant. In addition to a reminder SMS 1 day prior to the visit, the SMS tool that was used back then was a very basic tool which was used to send every single SMS individually for every single participant, which gave the possibility for human mistakes when the human interference was the common practice and nothing was automated. Another example is our complaint tracker, which was a basic Excel sheet that we used to track QBB complaints, which is a very important component in our participant satisfaction. Challenges. Our challenges at the time was that basic recruitment systems, participants' appointment duplications, and the non-integrated systems between the various systems and Qatar Biobank. Inefficient call center systems, difficult traceability, and of course the human interference. At the time, Qatar Biobank had a vision to grow and to diversify the studies, but systems that were in use were not compatible to our future aspirations. So we decided to group all departments to collect the business requirements and the operational need of every single department to initiate a scope of work to help us to procure a system which can integrate all the various systems in Qatar Biobank, like the clinical information system and the medical review system, and to enhance the participant recruitment and booking processes. In 2020, we came up with a system that was tailored fit for Qatar Biobank, which we called Participant Relation Management System, PRMS. PRMS is a participant-centered integrated solution which facilitates smooth data flow between various systems in Qatar Biobank without compromising security and confidentiality of the participant data. The new PRMS system also offered a proper centralized call center application that automatically distributes the call to the available agent and provides a call recording software. In addition to a user-friendly mobile application and an online portal, which will enhance the participant experience through his participation journey. It's very important to know that the online portal and the mobile application is mirroring what we can see in the PRMS and vice versa. When we look to transition from the very basic systems or tools, and when we were putting together the business requirements, these were all the important key components that we needed in our PRMS to allow for a careful management over the participants and their data. So for example, in this picture, you can see that our PRMS system has a full dashboard to give a full view on the status of our tasks, like, for example, participant registration, booking an appointment, complaint tracker, reports, and much more. In this slide, it shows that when capturing the participant details for registration, we will be collecting the participant's full name, Qatari ID number, mobile number, the date of birth, nationality, and the number of years living in Qatar. The Qatari ID, by the way, is the national identifier for every resident in Qatar, which will never be changed. So we consider it the main identifier when registering the participant to eliminate participant registration duplication. And here, as I mentioned earlier, that the participants can show their interest in participating with Qatar Biobank by self-register using the mobile application and the online portal. So this is an example on how our PRMS will react when the national identifier is duplicated while registering the participant. As you can see, we have a pop-up that will inform us that the participant is already registered and it does not allow him to register again. Participant profile. So when the participant details are captured, a participant profile will be created. In addition, the PRMS have the logic that captures additional data from other sources, such as our clinical information system and the medical review system, to determine preferences, like participant additional information, appointment and activities, complaints, and result status, and much more. The additional details that will be captured from the other systems will be added automatically to the participant profile. So for example, if the participant mentioned in his consent that he don't want to be contacted in the future for further studies, it will pop up in his profile in the additional information that this participant doesn't want to be contacted in the future. Or if the participant raised a complaint using the mobile application or the online portal, or even by one of the participant service representatives, it will be linked to his profile. And there are so many advantages of the system integrations that we will be talking about. Again, one of the advantages of the PRMS and the integration between systems, that it allows us to push special requirements into the system, so that the team managing the participant visit is aware. Like for example, if the participant had a special need or a special requirement, we can just add it to his profile, and it will pop up to the clinical department. And we have added another valuable service, which in case if the participant results is reviewed from the medical review system with a red flag, it will pop up into our system in addition to an email and an SMS to the participant service representative saying that this participant needs to be booked an appointment for the results collection as soon as possible, with respect to the participant confidentiality, of course. Booking appointments. Our new PRMS system made booking appointments one of the easiest parts of the whole process, which can be done by our team or by the participants themselves by using the mobile application and the online portal. When we designed this system, we spent a lot of time and efforts into the business logic to allow us to make sure that every single eligible participant will be booked into the right study. So for example, if you are a pregnant female, you will not be eligible for our cohort study, but you can be offered an appointment in our cubic study. Appointment duplication. Booking duplication was one of our major challenges. So as per the study criteria in Qatar Biobank, for example, in our cohort study, the participant can't participate more than once. So if the participant already participated and he or she is trying to book an appointment, the system will not allow the appointment booking to proceed. The PRMS calendar. The PRMS calendar view, this page is the common page that we, the participant service representatives, will deal with on a daily basis to manage all the booked appointments for our participants. You can see how flexible is our system in this picture, that in one shift only, we have accommodated 3 different studies with 6 different visit types. So I'll keep it just for a second, just to take a look how the flexibility of the system and how we can accommodate more than one study at the same time. As mentioned earlier, that Qatar Biobank had a vision to grow and to diversify the studies. We built our system to be compatible to add any future studies with the needed logics and different study criteria. And this is an example to show you how agile is the system in terms of creating new studies. And we will be able to add a new study within few minutes, adding all the criteria and the logic needed. Qatar Biobank is very concerned about the participant satisfaction, and this was the reason behind creating new services. We have enhanced our services by allowing the participants to download their medical report online using the mobile application and the online portal using a secure channel, if and only if they have consented to receive it online. Or they can book an appointment to collect reports from Qatar Biobank without any interference with the participant service representative to assure an amazing participation journey with Qatar Biobank. We have on the system identified our quality indicators, the importance of this data and its quality, and how it's captured. This system allows us to sample the calls and sample the data, and it helps our continuous improvement cycle. As you can see in this picture, that every activity on the system will be captured and every call will be recorded. One of the added values and great features in the PRMS that we have also upgraded our system by merging the complaint tracker, which complies to our ISO standards rather than Excel sheet that can be edited. We have also monitored our participant satisfaction on a quarterly basis, and it's worth to mention that QBB maintained an excellent participant satisfaction rates for the last 5 years. So when adding the excellent and the very good feedback, we end up with a minimum of 99% participant satisfaction rates. At the end, I would like all of you to take 10 seconds and visualize this picture. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Qatar Biobank staff. The full team is in this picture. Our employees are our biggest asset. They play a crucial role in our organization. They bring to the table their ideas, energies, and most importantly, their expertise. They are the biggest asset for our success. Here we reach to the end of our presentation for today. Thank you everyone for attending, and we welcome your questions, so please feel free to ask. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Rafiq and Mr. Mahfoud, for this excellent presentation. Actually, it's quite impressive what we have learned so far from what you have accomplished. What we have learned actually from the previous module, module 1 and 2, and today. And so I would like to congratulate you and your team for...
Thank you, Doctor.
Sorry?
Thank you, Doctor.
You are quite welcome. Yeah, I'm just from taking the Qatar 2030 vision to support precision medicine and healthcare in Qatar, and how you manage to recruit to have like 80% of participants are Qatari, like 30,000 participants are Qatari, despite the fact that you have only 12% of Qatari in the whole Qatar. And the pie that you showed is kind of unique pie. And despite this fact, it's really amazing. Thanks to the strategy and the communication and all the vision that you have in terms of when you talk about PRMS, the integration of the communication, having Sheikh Hamouza as one of participants, which boosted the recruitment. So it's really amazing. And thank you so much for this great presentation. So I would like to see if, is there any question from the participants? So I can see here from Hassan Al-Amin, his question is the biobank data connected to the power charts, Cerner at HMC, and what is the procedure to access this data if we have the subject's consent?
Okay.
So yes, so in the consent of the participant, when the participant will participate, he have to sign the consent. So we will be asking the participant if he would allow us to share some of the information of his into the Cerner systems. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And also to add just this important thing, we will be asking him in the consent if we can access his previous history or medical history. So this is also in the consent when the participant will participate with us at the beginning.
Oh, great. Okay, thank you. So any question, please raise your hand. You can use this reaction or you can just talk. Any other question?
Latif, I had a question.
Yes, thank you, Scott. Go ahead, please.
For Rafiq, you mentioned many different recruitment strategies, and I'd be interested if any one of them in particular was more valuable than others. Particularly, that it didn't cost much, but that you saw a great boost in recruitment from that particular strategy or strategies.
Okay, our recruitment strategy depends on our targeted group at the moment that we want to recruit. So we don't apply a general recruitment strategy that fits all, because each study has its own specifications. So as we said, Qatar has its own specification and is one of there is a very few countries in the world where the local population is a minority, and this is the case in Qatar. So when we want to reach a certain group in our recruitment and in our communication, so the best tool so far for us to recruit is the use of influencers, because and the influencers, when they know who we are and what is our noble cause, they usually come. They are usually extremely happy to participate with us, and they don't ask for anything in return. The other thing that helps us a lot in recruiting, as I said before, is word of mouth. People now trust us in Qatar, and we have a lot of participants who comes because they heard about us, and people who asked them, told them about us, told them how amazing was their journey. So yes.
Thank you.
Okay. There is also a follow-up question to the question from Hassan Al-Amin about the consent. He said, who should initiate this, the patient or the physician?
Initiate what?
It's back to his question when he asked, is the biobank data connected to the power charts at HMSC, and what is the procedure to access this data if you have the subject's consent? So,
if I understood the question, so when the participant, actually this question should be asked to the medical office, but just because we have mentioned that, so if the participant signed the consent saying that we can access his previous history, his medical history, we will be able to access it. Like this is from my perspective, this is what I can answer. But if there is more details, this question should be asked to the medical office.
Dr. Nahla is here to answer.
Yes, so yeah, exactly. So accessing the data for researcher, it has to go through Access Office. So we will explain this in Thursday session. So through the website, any scientist who would like to access the data, he had to submit a proposal and get the IRB approval through to be provided with the data.
Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you, Dr. Nahla. I see here there is another question. If possible to have record for all previous webinars, I could not, okay, those we can handle them later on. So for all the recording from the previous webinar, we're going to be send them to you. And also, as I mentioned in the beginning, we will be sending also evaluation form. When you complete it, we send you the certificate of attendance. So just stay tuned. When we finish all these webinars, the last one is going to be this Wednesday. And then we'll send you all the recording and all the information you may need. You can also contact me. I'm going to put my email here in case you have any further question, because we are coming to the end of this session. So, okay. So it's lhadri@g2mc.org. Another question before we close this session: are physicians in HMSC involved in patients' recruitment?
So if it's allow me, yes, to reply this, if they are for the physician in HMC, it has to start a new study, which is a nested study. That's why we have different kinds of studies. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Nahla. We are coming to the end of this session. So please, if you still have more questions, you can send me email and I'm going to be in touch with the Qatar Biobank team Thank you again for your excellent work for this novel cause, and we're looking forward to seeing your participation tomorrow, March 8th, for the module 4 that's going to start at 8 a.m. EST. And the subjects of tomorrow is how, let me read the title, how to build IT for biobanks. So IT people and others, you are welcome tomorrow. It's going to be exciting session. So thank you again, and have a nice afternoon, nice morning for us here in the US. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Take
Thank
care.
you. Have a great day.
you.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.